Fox a console pleb? Sometimes I'll get that question. Oh my god, Fox plays State of Decay 2 on the Xbox instead of glorious PC Master Race. Well, I've decided to dig a box out, one box of my old PC collection. And this is just one box, mind you. And let me tell you something about the PC Master Race. I don't have a whole lot of respect for most modern day PC Master Race enthusiasts, and that's because most of the games that, not all of them, but most of the games people play are just games that you can play on the Xbox or the PlayStation, but they have better graphics. I don't think there's anything special about that. These, on the other hand, this is what I consider the golden age of PC gaming, because most of these could not be played on console. You had to have a PC to play them, and that's where I developed this whole mentality that I play multi-platform games on the console, and I play PC-exclusive games on the PC. And yes, I'm going to be using this stick to point at things. What, you thought you were going to get a face reveal? What are you, crazy? But first, we got to talk about this game right here. Let me get that shine out of the way if possible. There we go. F-22 Lightning II by Nova Logic. This was the first PC game I ever played. It was a flight simulator. Simulators get a lot of bad names these days because you got all those weird simulators like grass cutting simulator, like I don't know, like paint drying. So there's a lot of simulators that are stupid. But back in the day, simulators were all about creating games that focused on details and feeling authentic. And this was the first PC game I ever played. Staying in the realm of simulators, I made a post about how I like Battletech. And if you read it, you may have noticed that I talked about MechWarrior, that maybe you would recognize MechWarrior before Battletech. And that's because MechWarrior is Battletech. It's just like a sub-name. A full name of this could be Battletech MechWarrior 2 31st Combat Century. Over here we've got the sidequel, because it's not really a sequel. I wouldn't consider it a sequel. This is MechWarrior 2 Mercenaries, and one of the things that was kind of funny, if you're a Battletech fan, because I played this first, I always thought the clans were the good guys, but not necessarily the bad guys. There's a lot of moral gray. It's up to you to decide who you think are the good guys and the bad guys. But then when I played as the Inner Sphere, who are in MechWarrior 2 Mercenary, I thought these were the bad guys, especially because their mechs are really ugly looking compared to the clan mechs, which are always I always found them to be very elegant. And so let me zoom in and focus. So, as a kid, this was my favorite mech. This is the Timberwolf or the Mad Cat. Clan mechs always go by two names. And over here, let me see if I can... We can't see it too effectively. But the insignia right here, that's the Clan Wolf insignia, and that was my favorite faction in MechWarrior, or in Battletech. Over here we have the Mauler, that's the name of this mech, and that's also one of my favorite mechs. So funny that the two... normally, for the Inner Sphere, you would think the Atlas would be the poster boy, but no, in this case it was the Mauler. Over here, we've got Mech Commander. I played Mech Commander, like, religiously, like, every day when it came out, and it was on this thing called the MSN Gaming Zone. Before we had, like, Steam... Xbox Live, there was the MSN Gaming Zone, and there was a player population of probably about 30 people who played this game. There were more than 30 people, but 30 people at the most. But most of the time, it was probably more like 15 to 20 people. And as a result, super tight-knit community. Everybody knew everyone. And it was great because of that. Even though there weren't a lot of people, you knew, and you had a close relationship with every single person who played this game. So in here, let's see, what battle mechs do we have here? So we've got, this is the Blood Asp. We've got the Timberwolf sneaking in over here. See him, the same mech over here. The Timberwolf is like one of the most iconic mechs in the Battletech series. And then the Atlas. This is the mech that I thought would be depicted here, just because the Atlas is like de facto the most popular or the most recognized battle mech. Over here we've got Mech Commander 1, super hard game. I didn't beat it as a kid. I revisited it some years later, older and smarter, and I was able to eventually beat it. So over here we've got the Catapult. Another favorite mech of mine, Awesome. This is probably my favorite battle mech, and that's because when I was playing this game, you've got these things called nav coordinates. So you have like nav alpha, nav beta, nav delta. Well, like I used my scanners on a mission where it was there was a sandstorm and I couldn't see, and I targeted this mech here that is literally called Awesome. The Awesome, just Awesome. So I thought this was a navigational coordinate called Awesome. So I'm like, the Awesome nav coordinate? Well, if it's the Awesome nav coordinate, well, you better believe I'm going to go over and do it. And I had no idea that it was that. I wasn't looking at a nav coordinate. I was looking at a battle mech known as Awesome. So I went over to it, couldn't see anything because of the sandstorm, walked right into it, and then it vaporized me with its heavy weapons. And because of that impact, I was like, oh, that was awesome. The Awesome's awesome. So even though it has a super cringy name, like any of my friends, they hate the Awesome. Any friend I introduce to Battletech hates the Awesome. I love the Awesome because I'll always remember that childhood experience. So let's talk about, I forgot, did I talk about TIE Fighter? If I didn't talk about if I already talked about TIE Fighter, you're going to hear it again. This is another simulator game. I think it's the best Star Wars game they ever made. It's so believable feeling. Even though it's got super blocky, it's like a 1994 game. Absolutely my favorite Star Wars game, hands down. You get to play as the Empire. You get to see it from the Empire perspective. Over here is I guess this is the sequel. It has no story. It was basically just kind of a multiplayer game, but it had bots so you could play against the computer as well. But just more combat, better graphics, but you could also play as the Rebel Alliance. Over here, MMO time. EverQuest. This is the trilogy pack, so it should come with, Ruins of Kunark, Original EverQuest, and Scars of Velius. This character here, this elf woman, that's Verona V. I don't know if I would consider her the main character of EverQuest, but she's definitely the poster child, the best known character. So over here we've got EverQuest Shadows of Luklin, EverQuest Planes of Power, and once again, EverQuest Scars of Velius. I actually own EverQuest multiple times. I don't know where my EverQuest Titanium is that has basically all the expansions. Why did I buy it multiple times? To try to get my friends into it. Speaking of buying things multiple times, well, let's go. World of Warcraft. This game, so people talk about, oh my god, I've got like a whole lot of hours in the game. I don't think a lot of people will be able to beat me on World of Warcraft. I've played this game for 15 years, very regularly. I've taken breaks periodically, but we're talking about maybe a 1 or 2 month break per expansion. So I've got hours that I don't care to count in this game. But it's not my favorite MMO. This is my favorite MMO. How do you know? Dark Age of Camelot. Dark Age of Camelot again. Dark Age of Camelot 3 times. Yes, I bought this game 3 times to try to get my friends into it. Here's the expansion, Dark Age of Camelot Shrouded Isles, and Dark Age of Camelot, the Trials of Atlantis expansion. Absolutely loved the Dark Age of Camelot series because it was based on folklore, like actual like historic mythology, and I was really into stuff like that when I was younger. Strategy games. So here we've got Command & Conquer Red Alert, Command & Conquer Tiberian Sun. Command & Conquer Tiberian Sun, again, this is actually a duplicate. I have 2 CDs of this. And then I've got Generals over here. I've got other Command & Conquer games as well, but these are the ones that were in that box. Huge fan of Command & Conquer. I liked Command & Conquer more than the Blizzard RTSs for a very long time. And I still think some of them are better. Speaking of the Blizzard RTSs, we've got StarCraft. StarCraft again. Brood War expansion to StarCraft. Brood War expansion to StarCraft again. So I bought StarCraft and StarCraft Brood War twice. Over here we've got Warcraft 3 Battle Chest. So it has Warcraft 3 and the Frozen Throne expansion. Warcraft 3 Battle Chest again. So Warcraft 3 plus the expansion a second time. Here's the Frozen Throne. So I bought Frozen Throne again. Frozen Throne again. 4 Frozen Thrones, and I got even more Warcraft 3s elsewhere. I know that for sure. I know I've got a ton of them. So, as you can tell, I was a huge fan of Warcraft 3. Over here, we've got Roller Coaster Tycoon. My first introduction into city builder simulators was SimCity on the Super Nintendo. My first PC city builder was not Roller Coaster Tycoon. It was SimCity 2000. I couldn't find it in this box, but I did get into Roller Coaster Tycoon as a result of being interested in the city builders. That's probably why I like games such as Oxygen Not Included. Dungeon Siege. While people were interested in Diablo, I was into Dungeon Siege. I never played the original Diablo because I was into Dungeon Siege. That said, I only liked the original Dungeon Siege. I'll tell you a secret. The person who composed the music for Dungeon Siege is Jeremy Soule. And this was kind of like him getting into the business. He would eventually blow up and become the composer for, I'm pretty sure, the Elder Scrolls series. And I think he also wrote the music to Harry Potter. Not sure, not 100% sure on Harry Potter, but I'm pretty sure he did do the music for the Elder Scrolls. At least for Morrowind, Skyrim, and Oblivion. But yeah, I think that covers basically all of this here. So, is Fox a console pleb? No. I have been playing PC games for quite some time, and I played, like I said, what I would consider the golden age of PC games, where you had all of these PC games, big-time games, defining games that were just like definitive of their time, that could only be played on PC. Some of these technically are available on console. MechWarrior 2, it was available on PlayStation 1 and I think Sega Dreamcast, but it was awful because you need a ton of buttons to play MechWarrior. StarCraft, this was on the Nintendo 64, which is like, I thought that was crazy. Like, it would be incredibly awkward. I don't know how you would play this on the Nintendo 64. They tried to move the Command & Conquer onto console. It just doesn't work. It's just way too hard to play. You need a mouse. You need a mouse and a keyboard to play RTS games. But there you go. That is one box of my PC games. It was pretty fun just kind of looking back. A lot of nostalgia here. A lot of games that I still enjoy. Some of them I can still play. A lot of these. I mean, TIE Fighter, all I need is a DOS emulator, and I've played it. I went back and I played this in the last year. Mech Commander 1, I think it actually still works, even on Windows 10. I believe Mech Commander 2 struggles on Windows 10, like the color palette gets really messed up. But I played Mech Commander 2, the original Mech Commander. Oh my god. Let me zoom in. Oh my god, it makes me so sad to see that FOSSA Interactive, FOSSA Corporation. No, anyone who's a BattleTech fan will know what I'm talking about. Oh man. Oh man. But that's that. Just thought I'd show you a little bit behind the scenes, get to see some of the games that Fox as a kit Fox, Fox as a kit Fox, played when he was younger. But at any rate, that's going to be the end of that. Remember that you don't have to be good to get good. But you do have to be an old school PC gamer to enjoy the... Well, that's not true. I guess you could go back and play these in modern times. So forget I said anything. Just remember that you don't have to be good to get good.